Hello.
Buenas noches. Good night. How are you?
Muy bien, ¿y usted?
Bien también, Mario. Mucho gusto.
Bien.
También.
¿Están
Con
bien
Mario.
ustedes
lluvia.
todos? Good. Walter, what's
Yes,
up?
how are you? What's
Baruch
up,
Hashem.
Baruch Hashem, you guys speaking some language, a foreign language. Can you speak
Buenas
Hebrew?
noches.
Buenas
Yeah,
noches,
We are talking Mamelution.
Walter, we
yeah,
are,
right.
Walter, we are Peruvian.
There's a Peruvian in the place. Okay, stop the recording for a second. Otherwise we record all this stuff.
Yes, it was.
You need a bit of everything.
That's true.
Where's our fearless leader? Where's the rabbi?
I'm here. What do you mean?
He's here. He's very fearless.
Ah,
I'm here. Kuf
Okay.
Dalet, 104
But-
Ahmed.
By the way, they started the new Masechet already today.
No,
No,
I'm up to date and we're not.
no,
I think we are.
no,
Check.
no. The new
Yes, sir.
the Masech is over on 119. That's 2 weeks from now.
You sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
2
I'm
weeks.
ahead of my time.
2 weeks. Elam Rav.
Or-
Shiny Masnisin the Kivin Diyoda Laman Gazle. In the case where you know who you stole from, the Oidule, you admitted to him. Kivin de Efshel Adur Mamona Lamare. Since the money can be returned to its owner, Havale Kamanda Amerle, Yuli Biyotcha. It's as if he said,
Ernie, just sorry to tell you, today is 218. Tomorrow is 219. Sorry.
Today's 108, excuse me.
What 108?
That's where
Daf.
we're at.
Today's 108.
The DAP is, I did
Daf is
109 today.
Kufches.
I did
Ernie,
Kufches
Okay.
today.
Ernie mentioned that the last stop in this Masechta is 119.
Yes, but today I'm just telling you what daf they're on. Okay,
108.
fine.
Velvel,
It's
I'm looking at the
108.
calendar. It's 108 today. Kufches.
Okay, good.
I don't know what
Okay.
you're looking at.
Well, but we're not in Kufches either, so it's okay.
Well,
Bye.
that doesn't matter.
Okay.
We know we're behind.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
so Kamanda Amerle, Yuli Biyotcha. It's as if the owner says, listen, hold on to me, hold on to it for me as a pikadon until you give it back to me. Hilkach nishba, if he takes an oath and it's a false oath. So afagav de Amerle Yuli Biyotcha, kiven de boy kapara. Since he swore a false oath, he needs atonement. Lo sagia de matilera, you got to find him even in China. But halo ishtaba, but if he didn't take an oath, there's no aveira to have atonement for. So he keeps it until he gives it back to him. Then the Mishnah said, Lo yitin lo livno v'lo l'shlucha. As a Gazlan, you have to give it back to the one you stole from, not to his son, not to his shliach. Itma. Shliach sharaso be'edim. You appointed a shliach in front of Edim. For example, to receive something. Like repayment of a loan. Rav Chisda Amar Ravi Shaliach. He's a good shaliach. If there's something that happens after the shliach is makabelit, the guy who gave it to shaliach is potter. The achrayus is over once you give it to the shaliach of the person. Giving it to the shaliach, according to Rav Chisda, is like giving it to the owner. Rabba Omar, even if you did it in front of Eidim, Lavi Shliach, it remains the responsibility if something breaks or is lost until it actually gets back to the owner's possession. And it's not good enough to give it to a shliach, even if the shliach was appointed with Eidim. So it's a major machlokas between Rav Chisda and Rav. Rav Chisda Amar Ravi Shaliach. La'achi tarki vukim nebeidim. The leke b'rshusei. I spent the time to find Adim so that the one who is sending it back is going to have a real shaliach, so that it would be in his reshus, and I'm out of the picture. Rabba Amelavi shliach, hachi kama. The reason I made Adim, because inish me'emnehu, I wanted to be able to explain that this shaliach is an honest person. But isamchis, if you rely on him, samach. Ibois l'shadr biyade, shadr biyade. And if not, give it back yourself to the original owner. So, Tanat. Hashorel sapora, somebody borrows a cow. V'shilcha biyad bno, biyad avdo, biyad shlucho. The one who's lending the cow sends it to the borrower. The cow, not directly, doesn't give it directly to the borrower. He gives it via his son or shaliach.
Ohevet.
O biyad bno, biyad avdo, biyad shlucho shel shoel. Or the shoel appoints a shaliach. And then mesa. Then the animal dies. Potter. Because the shoel is potter, because even if it reached the shaliach, it didn't get into the possession of the shoel. Now, this shliach that was appointed by either the mishalech or the shoel, hi shlucho hechidon. If it was not appointed with Edim and Oyadinan, how do we know that a shliach was appointed? Ella also be'edim. The shliach was appointed with Edim. Ukitani potter. Kasha to Rav Chisda. According to Rav Chisda, you're not, once the shliach gets it, it's as if the owner gets it. And here we see it's not like it. So we answer, Kedam Rav Chisda, Bischiro v'lekito. This is the regular worker that works with this guy. Everybody knows that he works for the shoyah. So you don't need Adim to verify that he's the shaliach. Al-Chanami b'schir v'lekito. Everyone knows that he's the shaliach, even if he didn't do it with Adim. Another proof, Tanat. We said in our Mishnah, Lo Yitein, the Gazlan shouldn't return what he stole, Lo Livnov Lo L'shluch. Not to the guy's son, not to his shliach. What kind of shliach? Hai shlucho hechidami. Ish lo so be'edim. If the shliach wasn't appointed with edim, menoy adina, how do we know that he's a shliach? El lov shaso be'edim. He did it with edim. Still, he's not considered like the Bailim, which is a kasha on Rav Chisda. Tirgum Rav Chisda b'schir v'lekito. If it's his regular worker, it'll work, but not a shliach, even if it was appointed be'edim. So what? Aval shliach shaso be'edim mai. Hachanami davi shliach? Would that work? No, because Adatani Seifa, the Mishnah said you can't give it to the ben or the shaliach. Aval noisin elu shliach bestin. You give it to the bezdin's shliach. If though, according to Rav Chisda, if a shliach is appointed with edim, it's a good shliach. Liflog v'listim b'didei. Let the machlokes start there and say sheshliach shaso be'edim machanami davi shliach, and not just wait till the seifa to say that it's a shliach bezdin. Armi lo psikalei. We can't say by a regular shliach appointed by edim that everybody agrees. Shliach bezdin lo yishnak aso nigzav lo shnaso gazlin. Doesn't make a difference who appointed the shliach bezdin. Everyone holds havi shliach, and therefore psikale, it's a psak that everybody accepts. But shliach shaso be'edim, There's different ways of doing that. The chiyaso nigzal hudavi shliach. If the person who was stolen from makes a shliach, it's good. But imaso gazal lavi shliach, so therefore lo psikale. It's not a determined halacha. And this approach is lafukim ha'aitan, is clearly not going like the following brayso, the Tanya. Rav Shimon ben Elazar Omer, shliach bezdin, shasau nigzav v'lo shasau gazlan. If bezdin appointed a shaliach for the nigzal, but not for the gazlan, or vice versa, asau gazlan v'sholach, the gazlan made it v'sholach Allah, and they sent it to the person who was stolen from, v'natal es shalom yado, and if the one who was stolen from took it from the hand of the shaliach, then potter. But the shliach that Bezdin appointed, that the Gazlan did, and the item was not given over to the nigzal, he'd be chayiv. And just like there's a machlokas Rav Chiz and Rabbah, there's a machlokas between the Amoraim and Eretz Yisrael. Rav Yochanan and Rav Lozer Damer Tarvayu, shliach shasau be'edim havish shliach. It is a shaliach. V'im toimar mishnaseinu. From our Mishnah, we were medag that it's not a shliach. That's b'mansi lo shaliach. The Amar Lei, the one who was stolen from, says to a person, Isle Zuzi Gabi Plani, this guy owes me money, and he hasn't given it to me. Is Chazile appeared to him, maybe he would never found the right person to send it back to me, or inami like Rav Chizda, that B'schir of Alekito, the guy who works for him, not a shaliach. But according to Rav Yochanan and Rabbi Lozer in Eretz Yisrael, if the guy who was stolen from makes an shliach be'edim, then the Gazlan can give it to him, and he's potter from his achrayus at that point. Then it says, Ein Meshachin Mos B'dyukni. You owe money to some guy, and you want to send it back to him, and you want to put it in some kind of container that has a siman on it. And to verify that I'm sending it with a shaliach, that this is the shaliach. V'afilu eidim chsumim alei. And even there are witnesses signing on that item. Rav Yochanan im eidim chsumim alei mishalchet. If the eidim sign, you can send it. But Amri l'shmuel maita kante. Other than Rav Yochanan, how else would you be able to return money to somebody without doing it yourself? Kihad Rav Abba v'matzik zuzi, Rav Yosef bar Chama. Rav Yosef owed money to Rav Abba. Amarle the Rav Safra. Rav Abba said to Rav Safra, "Bahari de achis is now niale." When you go visit that town where Rav Yosef lives, ki azal hasam. When you go there, Amarle Rabba Brei because of lacha is kabalti. Did they write? That means make sure you write when Rav Safra takes the money as the shaliach, he has sort of a receipt that says, I was makabelit. Armalei lo, and he said he did not write that to me. Iachi, zil bereshav yichtav lacha his kabalti. Before you take the money, make sure he writes a receipt to say I receive it. So we know by giving it, the guy who gave is potter from any achrayas. But l'sof amalei kos v'chonam his kabalti lav klumu. But if I write a receipt of his kabalti before I give the money, dilma ad asis until he gives the money, shchiv, Rababa. Rababa will die. V'naflu zuzi kame yasmi, and the assets will go to the Yisomun, and then the his kabalti, Rababa lav klumu. It really belongs to the Yisomim at this point. So how do you do it? Amar le alamaita kanta. How do you pay back money to a distant place. So here it is. Zil nakninu. L'cha agav ara. Be kind of the money via a piece of land. V'to'at kosovlon. And you write Yiskabalti. I received the money. Kihod Rav Papa v'masik trace Rav Izuzi. He was owed $12,000. Bebechuzoi. Akninu niala. Rav Papa was makna to Rav Shmuel bar Abba. Agav sefer de Beisei. Sort of relying on the door frame of his house. That's a piece of karka. And ki also, when the money finally got to Rav Shmuel, Nofak la'ape, Rav Papa received him ad toyachav, very happy that through that way he was able to get his money back. Then we said, nosa keren. If the keren was paid but not the choimish, then you don't have to go give back the item wherever the guy goes to. Alma choimish b'moinahu. The fifth is really part of the debt. It's not a knas, it's momoin. Then therefore, imayis, if the gazlan dies, mishal milei hayorshit, the choimesh is paid by the inheritors. Utnanami nasra keren nishbal al choimesh. He gave the principal. He swore that he paid the fifth, but he was a liar. He has to pay an extra fifth on the fifth. Must be chumsha mamoinu. It's like the original debt. Person steals, and he swears that he never took anything. Umeis, then he dies. Yorshin mishavin keren v'choimish. The heirs pay the keren and the choimish. But they don't bring the korban because only the guy who did the avera does the korban. So the yorshin, do the heirs have to pay the extra fifth of their father? Must be if they can, if they do, it's considered mammon, not knas. Uboy shlumi a yorshin, and the yorshin have to pay it. V'reminu. I'll ask you a kasha from a medrash. You don't pay a choimish if you're paying back the debt of your father, if your father was a gazlan. When? Bisman shalonish belohu v'lo aviv. Nobody had taken a shavua, not the father, not him. But if someone took a shvua, either he or his father, hu v'aviv minayin, how do we know that they're still potter from the choimish? Talmud loymar, ve'eshiv esa gzela asher gazal, o esa oshek asher ashak, v'hu lo gazal v'lo oshak. The son didn't steal and didn't press. So the son will always be potter from the fifth. So this is a kasha what we said before. If the father confesses after he took the shvua, then he's chayiv tashlum the keren the choimish. Kan shloy hoida. So iloy hoida, if he didn't admit keren amilo mishalim. So the son's not going to pay anything if the father didn't admit. That even the keren isn't paid. If we're dealing with the issue, does he pay the choimish or not? So that's clear. Lememra, the keren mishalim, but the keren would be paid. V'otanya, v'adayna ni oimer, emisayim mishalim keren al gezel aviv. When do you pay the principal for something that your father stole? Is manchanish behu v'aviv. When both he and his father swore that they don't have it, and they were false. But if only aviv v'lohu, or hu v'lo aviv, only one of them took a shvur, or lohu v'lo aviv, minayin, that you still have to pay the choimish Talmud loymar, gzeila v'oishek aveda, ufikodin yesh Talmud. Now, Yosef Rabbanan v'Karmel Shmaitza, they were learning this sugya. Amalei Rabba Berei, yesh Talmud Kamer Mar, or yesh Talmud Kamer Mar. Does it mean he didn't hear properly? Does it mean it has to be paid? Amalei yesh Talmud Kamina. There's more learning. Umeribu de Kroyamri. There's multiple psukim. So it's clear that forget about the choimish. At least the Karen has to be paid by the Ben. So Elamai, loy hoide. The fact that the Brisa says that the father didn't confess, you're still chayv in the Karen. Lo hoide avi v'hoide b'no. That's a case where maybe the father didn't confess, but the son did. So nachayv b'noi choimish al shvua didei. We should be mechayiv the son on a fifth for his shvur that he took falsely. Amri b'she'en gzel kayemes. This is a case where the gzel doesn't exist. Even though it's a shvur sheker, it's not kfiris mama that you have to pay a choimish on because the gzel is not there. If the gzel is not there, afilu kiranami lo mishalim. The sons are not chayiv to pay if it's not kayim anymore. Lo tzricha de ikach rayus. The father left over land for his sons. And land is a collateral for all debts of any kind that he leaves over. So based on land, the son would still have to pay the Karen from his assets. Who cares that he has land? A gzela is a malval pehi. It's like an oral loan. There's no star. Then when a Goslin steals, he says, I have to pay you back. And an oral loan, malval pehi negor v'lo b'nai yorshim v'lo b'nai lekuchos. We don't collect an oral loan, not from heirs and not from purchasers. So how could it be that when you say you have land, it would cause payment of the Karen? Amri b'sha'ama b'din. When the father was alive, they took him to court, and Bezdin paska that he owes the money before he died. So that's already considered like a malva b'shtar that you can collect from the assets of Yisomim if the Yisomim inherited land from their father. Okay. Tomorrow, 7:30, same time, 7:30.